strolled over to the Potala Palace, perhaps the most recognized and definitely the most visible landmark in Lhasa.
The original palace was commissioned by the same king who built Jokhang Temple, Songtsen Gampo. It burned down, however. Today's structure was built in 1645 under the 5th Dalai Lama.
The Potala Palace, which is now a museum, consists of more than 1,000 rooms. The palace can be thought of as two structures, one white, one red.
The white of the Potala Palace is the residence of the Dalai Lama. The red is for religious purposes. Most of the Potala Palace is made of bricks. However, at the very top of the red section of the Potala Palace, it is made of sticks, tiny, tiny sticks, millions and millions of sticks.
Painting the Potala Palace is done by taking buckets of white paint up to the top of these windows and just dumping it down the walls. No rollers, no paintbrushes, no taping anything off, and it looks great. I'm gonna ask my dad if I can do that to his house.
Circumambulating the Potala Palace is a must for pilgrims visiting Lhasa. During the walk, they spin the hundreds of prayer wheels that encircle the palace's hill. Prayer wheels, when spun, most often evoke the mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, which roughly translates to praise to the jewel in the lotus. Buddhists believe repeating the phrase leads to compassion and kindness, two keys to enlightenment.
Our bike soon arrived and we graduated from feet to wheels. We had to move on. Mount Everest awaited us. But thanks to Lhasa, we felt confident that our wandering pilgrimage would take us to where we wanted to go. Not just in location, but in mind and spirit. Lhasa showed us that we would find what we were looking for. To get there, we simply had to continue.
For hundreds of years, the monasteries within Pelkhor Chode served as Buddhist colleges.
In here is a library. This corner is the oldest sacred Buddhist text. These are over 500 years old.
The most visible structure in the Pelkhor Chode is the Kumbum, or Shrine of 100,000 Images. 9 stories tall, the Kumbum contains more than 75 chapels. The chapels together represent the Buddhist universe and the path to enlightenment.
All throughout this building, you can peek your head in at any one of these doors and find a different prayer room with different deities, different paintings on the walls, and different statues.
Something else you'll see in Pelkhor Chode, and in fact all over Tibet, are prayer flags. The scripts on the flags are blessings, and the constant Tibetan winds disperse them. We hoped our own prayers would be answered and we'd reach Mount Everest and find the spirits soon. Apparently, we are on the planet Endor, and the green grassy Ewoks are welcoming us.
This is what she was carrying across. Oh my gosh, this must weigh, I don't know, 70 pounds?
And she must be about 67 years old.
That's intense.
You are
6 or 7 flat tire.
There's Lag Pala in the distance. Ouch. After about 100 kilometers of riding uphill, we just nailed Lag Pala Pass.
Brushing my teeth before we get ready to ride today.
We got the tickets. All we have to do now is climb one last big pass, and then climb some more, and we get to see the highest place in the world, Mount Everest.
Finally, we entered the Chumulungma Mount Everest Nature Preserve. Bad weather forced us to stay at Che, a small village at the foot of the final pass into the Everest Valley.
A local family invited us into their home, which was an amazing glimpse into traditional Tibetan life. The word rustic comes to mind.
Tashi, look.
The storm worsened. We could do nothing but relax, sip on yak butter tea, and eat popped barley. After 9 cups of tea, Seabass showed me to the facilities.
This is the bathroom. Be careful, you don't want to fall through. And these are chickens.
The next day, the rain grew even worse, but we pressed on.
Behind us right here, behind this curtain, if you will, 4 of the highest mountains in the world are there. But sometimes the weather's is what it is. You're in the Himalayas, what are you gonna do?
Watch out for the rocks!
The clouds, rain, mud, and sheer number of switchbacks up and down Pong Pass confounded us. Meanwhile, we were fascinated and inspired by the road workers who struggle through the miserable conditions to complete their goal. Rain or shine, China intends to have the road to Everest paved for the 2008 Olympics. Every few kilometers, we'd run into a camp hard at work. One such camp invited us in to warm up.
Just got some food, got out of the rain. But gotta keep going.
谢谢你们的款待，
Thanks for everybody's help.
谢谢，谢谢，谢谢。
In the valley, the clouds lifted just enough to catch ruffles of Everest's underskirt. We thought we might get our first look at the peak, but more clouds, rain, and nightfall snubbed us.
In the tiny village of Chosong, we crashed to the banter of local farmers. Tomorrow was Everest Base Camp, but Base Camp didn't mean Everest. For that site, we'd need the weather to clear, and from what we could gather from the locals, there was no guarantee of that anytime soon. Close, but the weather became increasingly uncooperative. We were impressed with how stubbornly the clouds stuck to Everest. We also worried we might never get the view we worked so hard for. While we waited for a lucky break, we found other things to do. This is the highest post office in the world. Now we just have to figure out how to get it open. We sent a letter more than 5,000 kilometers back to Higher to show we were on the brink of a breakthrough. Well, it's been raining the last 24 hours, and it's totally socked in.
So hopefully the clouds will clear out and we'll be able to see Mount Everest up close. If not, we might have to wait for another day.
It's been a kind of a rough night, actually. It's been soaker.
Really cold.
Really cold.
Raining. And this morning we're going to warm up with some honey pancakes and some sweet tea, which is called
Changamwa. Yeah.
It's way better than the buttery actually. It's just gross.
This is really good.
Suddenly, the clouds rolled off the peak. Tent City bustled with activity as people scrambled to get to base camp. We rushed ahead of the hikers and the horse carriages for 2 reasons. 1, we didn't know how long Everest would reveal itself. And 2, we wanted to be first.
Yeah! We made it higher and higher from Qingdao to Mount Everest Base Camp. How do we do it?
Started in Qingdao, went to Beijing. For Beijing, rode the SkyTrain to Lhasa.
From Lhasa, we rode our bikes all the way through Gyansi, Shigatse, Lhasa, all the way up here to Mount Everest Base Camp. And let me tell you, it is unbelievable.
This is the highest we're gonna get.
Unless
we get better tires.
Better tires would help out a lot.
And maybe we could be the first ones on bikes to the top.
And guess there's got to go higher and higher, don't we?
Let's give it a shot. We can take showers later.
All right.